Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to another video. I actually quite like looking at this subreddit, so I figured I want to do one more. I just saw this one today, so I was like, shit, this one seems pretty interesting. So this one says love-inspired arranged marriage, which is okay. Um, I'm not gonna read it line by line, but I'll give you the gist of it. So she over here says, I want to have a love-inspired arranged marriage. Okay. That basically means dating. She basically just she basically just said dating, but another way. See, the concept of arranged marriage is that you are basically meeting a stranger and fixing a marriage based on no love foundation. But love inspired arranged marriage means that she is essentially trying to latch love an idea, trying to find a man with qualities that will validate her idea of what it takes for, not validate her idea, but a quality. She's trying to find qualities in a man that will essentially, let's break this down. That would essentially act as a catalyst for inducing love. That's pretty much what fucking dating is. Like, that's pretty much what it means to meet someone and date them. Like, most people go for the primal quality, which is looks, and she probably is gonna do the same. On top of that, then after you have looks, you have gone one date, and then you figure out what you talk about. Over here, she's just gonna look at a picture, have a bunch of profiles, have a bunch of qualities, and she's just gonna shortlist them way quicker. There's nothing different she's doing except that saying, "I want to get married in the next year to a man that has qualities. I want and fall in love with him." That pretty much means the same shit. And then she gave an example of her parents, and I said they think because I'm mixed race, multicultural, and grow up outside of India that it will be very difficult to find a man to have arranged marriage with. So here I am, 33 years old, to find one on my own. Well, yeah, her age pretty much is, mm, excuse me, her age pretty much reflective of fucking what her parents just said. But dating real life has been nice and easy for I'm cute, charming, and brilliant. So basically, glazed herself. Sure. Date People don't understand this, right? This is a female writing this. Dating is always gonna be nice and easy for a woman, cause women are the gatekeepers of sex. At the end of the day, right? There's enough horny dudes in this world that will go out buy you whatever food you want, in even hopes of trying to get some. So dating will always be nice and easy for women, because they'll have an option to choose from. And if it is true, she says, I'm cute, charming, brilliant, because you can't really see brilliance. You know, you have to hear brilliance. You can witness brilliance, but that takes time. But charming is the way they talk. That's fucking. There's no such thing as a charming woman. There's an attractive woman. There's charming men. Because women don't really have to say much to do much, right? Women can just be there and look good, and you'll find enough dudes that'll still chase after you like rabid dogs. Cute, sure. I've been on a lot of nice days, nightmares, to be honest. What this means is there is a high chance some of these dudes have smashed. Let's just be real here, guys. I'm gonna be very real. 33, and she's been married before. Again, married white, Latino, or East Asian, and I want a brownie, South Asian, or Arab, as I affectionately call other brown people and myself. This is basically cultural diaspora, or she's essentially trying to. This is what happens a lot, and I've noticed this a lot with people that belong to. Well, if I do take her word for it that she's mixed race, because I don't know what two race she is from, like white and brown, or brown and East Asian, or brown and fucking Latino. Like, I don't know. But she says she grew up outside of India. My assumption is she probably grew outside of India in North America, judging from her English. I'm assuming. So we're gonna go white. So if she's white, then a lot of these guys, because white, like I've noticed in North America, right, the culture doesn't really have a foundation. So a lot of them try to latch on to whatever culture they can latch on to. right? The white culture itself is like speedboats and fucking whatever bullshit they talk about, speedboats and fucking cowboys, bruh, shit like that. You know what I mean? So my assumption is she wants to really latch on to her Indian culture, which is fine. But what that does is it basically induces you're basically creating a diaspora for yourself essentially, right? There's no reason why she shouldn't marry white Latino East Asians. They're at the end of the day just human. But she but the reason why she calls herself brownie like other brown people and myself is because generally when you don't fully belong to a culture, you try to overcompensate by going ape shit on that culture, which is not a good idea by any means. But that's just, that's just something I've noticed. I was in a 7 year marriage before, so I'm first year. So, so she was a divorced woman. Sure. Grew up with a family, a father being a man of God, traditional mindset, protecting, providing family. Yeah, 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 whatever bullshit. He was obsessed with my mother, and we all knew it. Sure. Yeah. Now it's just talking about some shit with yeah, yeah. This line, man. She used to be married before, so hey, I'm his only daughter. Sure. Red romantic because of him. She doesn't sound romantic. She just sounds more of like a. She just sounds like a self blazer from what I'm reading. I'm hearing things from my mom as well. Sure, whatever trash is about gaming, sports, cooking, eating, foodie, fuck, whatever. Okay. No, she's not. She wants to meet a man whose life is guided by faith. You don't understand. You just name dropped three different religions. You cannot. This is okay. Leave a lot of the conversation. I'm not Muslim myself, but I know enough about Muslims to know that if someone is a man who's a Muslim and follows the faith, you're never gonna get married to him. End of story. Unless you're a Muslim yourself. Again, same thing. All these three categories, a man who's guided by faith, values, and a sense of purpose. Like like I said, I know God has many different names like that. Like these values, right? Faith, values, and a sense of purpose. Like you're pretty much saying I'm spiritual, and that like that's a prerequisite for fuck all. Like the most people see if you're like faith is a very strong word that generally alludes to you practicing a religion because having faith means you have to have faith in something that's instigated by a belief in another a transcendent being, right? Whether it's whichever religion you follow. So with that being said, you can't say a man whose life is guided by faith and values because again these two things are very strongly associated with a man who practices religion, right? Moral values, for example, people that practice uh, people that are obstinate against like having premarital sex and stuff like that. Those guys are guided by faith and values and have a sense of purpose, but generally their sense of purpose is also sort of aligns with their religion, right? So first you have to sort out what religion you want to target because you can't essentially cherry pick anywhere, right? Some religions do have restrictions on who they can marry as well and what religion they can marry from, right? But she's saying good heart. But what I'm truly asking for is someone with a good heart and good values. Look, at 33 years of age, darling, you're not gonna get much. You will get, see, you will get a good guy with a good heart and good values. But again, it's all about compromise as well, and also depends on what you deem as good values, right? Like, like I said, are you like where's the line drawn? That's what you have to be 100% sure about. You can't just willy nilly say I want good heart, good values. You have to know what good for heart, good value. For example, for example, like a lot of guys, right? A lot if you're okay, like essentially for me, good values is someone who's like who doesn't have sex like pre-marriage, right? Or doesn't have sex with multiple people. If that doesn't like, but in today's time, that's considered norm. So would you correspond that with good values? If so, how are you embodying that good value? Because the values, what I've noticed with a lot of people, at least nowadays, is the values they want is something they don't embody at all. So why should you get someone with a good heart and good values if you yourself is deficient of that? So first, know exactly what these definitions mean. You can't just fucking throw this shit out there and hoping it lands. I like a man who takes care of himself, smells great, goes to the gym a few times a week. I go 5 times a week and all that shit. Yeah. Uh, okay. She said Sardars to the front line. She's Punjabi, definitely. Like someone in her family has that. Respect culture, history of cultures embedded. Welcome. What the fuck is she writing, man? I want a woman to be a husband, preferably sooner than later. I know biological clock. I get it. I know this isn't openly talked about. I mean, a high libido. I myself do have a healthy appetite. Would okay. So what I got from this, look, man, I don't want to say it, guys, but look, anybody with a high libido, you have to understand, right? If she has a high libido and she made this statement here, she's been fucked a lot, guys. You have to understand. Anybody who's reading this, please first understand what you're getting yourself into. A 33-year-old woman who has been married before for 7 years, who has been on dates with tons of dudes, has a high libido. I know this, the guys from here, I know particular what they're after, so I can tell you this 120%. It's over. You know, it's over. Again, she says currently in Chandigarh, which is in India, from what I know, and then across multiple cities and countries. Yeah, yeah, whatever. Who gives a shit? Point is, if she's been on that, probably home country, guaranteed. Guys, run through. Don't please. This type of woman, you gotta be real careful. Look, guys, I understand, but look, I always say this: you have to look at what you're marrying, right? Marriage, at the end of the day, is a deal. I mean, it's love because love matters a lot, right? Love, you love a fucking dog for all I care. Look at the deal, cause at some point, love will always evolve into something else, right? There is no such thing as the word love is just a concoction of other shit like loyalty, trust, and all that crap. If you're talking about good values, good heart, then this isn't it. Cause a woman who's saying all this shit primarily has done a lot of shit. And look, if you're marrying that means you're legally signing a document that could potentially fuck you in the future as well. So if you want to sign a document, right, saying, yeah, this is the woman who I think is it for me, who'll have my kids. Mind you, get a fucking DNA test if you do actually end up having a kid with her. Cause my brother, I'm telling you, she's been with that many men. It doesn't matter. 130%, yo. 130%. I don't give a shit. Like you can say, bro, you're being rude to all women. It's not that. I know how women work. Period. Like I know hoes is hoes. Like they say all they want, like good values. See, women will think everything's okay if it's emotional, right? Emotional is the only thing that matters. Nah, man. Like, look, if you go to a dealership, uh, yeah, sure. That Honda Civic has history behind it because it's like the Takayama or whatever fucking the owner Toyota himself designed that shit, but it has only 400,000 kilometers on it, and then you got a brand new Honda Civic. Toyota Sun designed it. It has 0 kilometers on it. Which one do you think is better? The one with zero, man, because at least that can be one. 400K, bro. It's already over. What I'm saying is, guys, look, you have to look at a lot of the ratios because I'm seeing a lot of dudes here. They're saying DM, DM, DM. Huge fan, 5'9". So I got a lot of kinks. I'm like, bro, look, sure, if you've done the same too, but look, man, marriage is a very tough thing, right? With marriage, you have to understand this is not a joke. Like, don't fall for some liberal bullshit because you think that is the trend. Like, you have to understand, man, values, good values is important. thing. You don't want to end up marrying a girl wherein like you're gonna just think about it and be like, bro, what the fuck have I done? Like, this ain't it, mine. This ain't it. Now, if I go to her actual thing, her posts are all hidden. That means 130%. 130%. She's definitely posted a lot of shit that could potentially be not safe for work as well. Which is why I'll say, look, guys, in these situations, just steer clear of anything you can. I understand y'all guys is like very what do you call it? You guys are like very you guys really like that shit and all that. Like some people fall in love real quick. They get this look, man. Like no, 30-year-old woman. If this is real, if this isn't a joke, this is the type of woman you don't want, right? Like people look at this fucking idiot. What is? No, this guy. Just the title made me comment. Like, bro, look, you have to be a dumbass to not like to comment on this. Like, this is a very, very, very shit fucking thing. And look at this dog shit. He said I'm 5'9". Dude, the girl's 5'9". She literally said, I love putting heels. Nothing is able to tolerate, but take this into consideration. Obviously, this brother's okay with it, and he has a huge libido with kinks. But look, man, I'm telling y'all. And look, he even responded. She ain't respond back. That means A, she don't care. B, she a hoe. Period. What I'm saying is, guys, when you look at when you seriously do look at stuff like this, right? Please try to understand, like even in real life and dating apps and all that. Don't take shitty deals. Leverage shitty deals to get better deals. What I mean by that is, right? I'm just trying to say this to guys because I feel like guys are the ones who mostly take shitty deals. The reason why I say that is because, like I said, women are the gatekeepers of sex, men are the gatekeepers of marriage, but men do a shitty job at gatekeeping marriage. Women do a great job at gatekeeping sex because they'll fucking gatekeep the shit out of sex for dudes they'll end up marrying, but then they'll fucking let so many guys enter in and out, in and out, in and out, that are just good looking, and that's just the raw truth of it because that's just how the natural selection works, right? And this is not some like, you just don't understand women. No, it's like I'm not bothered by that idea. I'm like, sure, have sex, go ham, like it's your life, your whatever. What I'm saying is, if one party is having fun, the other party should also look into what's the best deal for them, right? In your situation, especially if you're a male, right, and you're not doing too well in the market for dating, sex, whatever it may be you're looking for. What I'm saying is, don't go for a deal that's shit. No deal sometimes is better than a deal that's a lifelong imprisonment, right? You know what I mean? If, for example, you have a crime, right? There's a crime, you didn't commit it, but the prosecutor has some evidence that puts you at the crime scene. Now the lawyer that you hired is saying, we have two options. Either we take the plea deal that the DA is offering, or we fucking go to trial. The DA is offering you fucking 5. You go to 5. You take 5. You're gonna go inside because they're gonna put you in GP for whatever the crime. They put you in GP. Now you get 5. You join a gang, they make you do something else, that 5 becomes 15. Well, guess what? You didn't commit the crime. So at this point, is it really, and there's enough evidence for you to actually get you acquitted. It's just that you're scared because the prosecutor claims some shit like, oh, we put you at the scene, it's enough evidence for us to bury you. In that case, you have two choices. Either take the shitty deal, write it out, soldier on for 5 years, or go to trial and pray to God, that the truth prevails. For what I would do, fuck, I'd always go to trial 10 out of 10 times. Shit, if I ain't done nothing wrong, I ain't gonna take the deal. Period. Point is, you always have to look into how you can leverage a deal, right? But sometimes no deal is better than a deal. Now, when it comes to leveraging, look at the deal, right? Now, for example, I'll give you another example in this context. Let's say you're in a dating app, right? And obviously, a lot of dudes, they don't get matches with all the extreme hot chicks, right? So let's say you get matched with a girl who's not that attractive, right? But you know that okay, based on her bio, she's been in the dating apps, she's been in the scene. Let's say she has some traits about her. She drinks. You see photo of her in the club. Chances are there's a really high probability that she has had multiple affairs in terms of hookups, because generally, even like in my experience, what I've seen is most women have the ability to obtain at least some dudes that would want to just have sex with them, and that's fine, right? Whatever. There's horny dudes everywhere. Point set. Now, what you can do is look. You could just do a full on relationship, and there's nothing wrong with that. At the end of the day, it's your life, right? As a dude as well, you date them, see how they feel. But what I would say is, in the back of your mind, like don't force the dating or don't force the relationship because you think this might be the only one you get. I'm saying go on dates, have fun, enjoy the relationship with the girl, but if there's discrepancies, as in you think this is not the one for you, don't fucking force it. This is a perfect opportunity for you. What are jobs for, right? When you're first trying to get into entry level jobs, right? You'll get any sort of small job to get experience. When you get enough experience or when you build a skill set, then you move on to better high paying jobs. That's how this works too, right? And I'm not saying no, break the girl's heart, just fucking pump and dump, right? That's it, again, it's your prerogative. A lot of dudes do it. Chicks know dudes do it and they still willingly sleep with those dudes. Again, no matter how much people regurgitate the bullshit, no, people are just taking advantage of it. Like, no. At the end of the day, people always have fucked each other over through the course of time. What I'm saying here is let's be raw and let's have a candid conversation. This is for my brothers. Period. What I'm saying here is you have to start somewhere. So if you have a girl dating, even if like it's not about sex, have conversations, learn how to talk as well. Because the more you talk with a woman, the more you have topics to talk about, the more you're training yourself on how to react on cues, right? It's the same thing with anything in sport and all that. Why do you think even pro athletes keep practicing? Because set pieces are important. You need to know how to perform on muscle memory. You need to know how to go without having to think so much. Because thinking sometimes kills. So you have to sometimes be proactive and reactive. And the only way to build a strong foundation is through experience. So if let's say you're in your mid 20s, right? Let's say you're in the mid 20s and you don't have anything to do, or you don't have any baseline yet. That's cool. Like date the girl, right? Like, but you have to pick your battles wisely. Now, for example, if I take my own example with that girl, right? That girl knew some people I knew, which could potentially fuck my career up, right? Like it could like she like because like the areas like like for example, like if if you have mutual connections, because if you live in a city that's small enough, you might have mutual connections in the industry here and there. That's a risk. So you don't want to do that because news spreads that way, right? When people get salty, they can do whatever they want. That's not a good idea, right? I recently heard about a story where like it was like a distant friend was telling me some shit where it's like the girl ended up cheating on this dude, and this dude found out, but he didn't know she cheated like full sex. He just thought it was like text, but thank God. But that dude straight up, just by knowing that she texted some other dude, and that was considered cheating in his brother's head. He said, "I'm gonna ruin your career," because they were working in the same place. So, which is why it's just sometimes you got to pick your battles wisely too, right? Like, so for me in this situation, the day that I went, I couldn't do what I did, but I still went out to get some experience. Now, let's say I got a match in a dating app, right? What do you think I'm gonna do? Although I'm not the pump and dumb kind of guy, like I'll be honest, guys, I haven't had sex. I've never had physical relations with a woman, and I don't think I plan to until like I know what's up, or like it has to come from within, right? I'm not in a rush, right? For me, it's all about my love, my relationship with God, and me being true to myself. But one thing I will not stop doing is having conversations with women, right? The more conversations I have, the more in-person interactions I have, the more eye contact I'm able to make, the better my receptors are gonna be, or the more receptive I'm gonna be when I'm talking even day to day, right? Because you might meet the person you actually truly want to be with or truly want to go out on a date in any given situation. but one thing that's gonna always be the same is the way you react, and that you can build on. So, for the brothers out there, always, 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 if you are getting a shitty deal, use it to leverage a better deal in the future. Don't take the deal as in like when I said leverage the deal, I mean you have to take it, but you don't have to. But there's always an exit clause in every single deal. You know what I mean? And in relationships, the exit clause is breaking up before getting serious into marriage and engagement. If that's the game, play the game, right? There's nothing wrong with that. Tons of people do it. Women do it to men. Men do it to women. Everybody does it to each other, right? At the end of the day, life's to life. You have to look out for yourself as well, right? Don't purposely break someone's heart. Genuinely get to know someone, find mutual ground, and if it's not working, don't force that shit because it's only gonna come to haunt you. If you already know that that girl isn't your type, still go on dates to at least build enough experience, at least talking experience, right? You don't have to. If you think that's unethical, don't sleep with them. Have just communication. Go out, do activities, right? Not everything has to be about vulgarity like sex, right? Not everything has to be sexualized. But what you should be doing is exactly these things, because these things are what makes, these things are important. These things are what's going to help you shape up how you're going to approach things. So make sure you do these things and don't take shitty deals. That's all I got to say for today. Take care. Bye.